ProbStats kids, this is Dr. Callahan with week 6 Tuesday. How are you guys doing? Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for you. All right, let's go ahead and figure out what our assignment is going to be for this coming day. So we're going to go to MS Teams. We're going to go under assignments. We're going to go create assignment. And then week 6, Tuesday, ProbStats semester 2. And your topic of discussion today is an introduction on correlation, on positive and negative correlation. So specifically, we're going to talk about correlation and correlations. So your job is to go ahead and view the assignment, make sure you watch the video in its entirety, answer the following questions, and then make sure you guys upload your assignment. Here are the 2 links that you guys need for this class. Make sure you check in with me by 1:19 for 5th period and 2:20 for 6th period. There are 2 of your classes here. And as always, it's due by 3 p.m. the same day that it is assigned. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Last time I saw you guys, we did take the quiz. Make sure you guys completed that. If you have this at home, make sure you have turned that in. So today, this is the breakdowns. Unit 7 is done. We're done with that. Make sure you turn that packet in. Make sure you guys grab the new packet, which is Unit 9. We're going to talk about correlations and correlations, and we're going to complete objective number 1, which is in the very back. Your homework tonight is to come up with 3 examples of a positive correlation and 3 examples of a negative correlation and 3 examples of something that has no correlation. This is the question that, or this is a template that you're going to need in class today. And I'm actually going to modify this a little bit so that way you guys have this separately. So we are just going to delete this piece right here. And this will be your homework on this. So come up with 3 examples. Positive correlation, 3 examples of negative correlation, and 3 examples of no correlation. So you don't have to worry about this because I will have this typed up on your paper when you guys get started with this. Copy this down, just paste it. Okay, and then, I'm gonna, since I have you guys here, I'm just gonna go ahead and find an exit ticket. that will work well with this one. Hold on just a second. Okay, so your exit ticket today is going to be as follows. And your job is to go ahead and explain to me. Please look at the graphs of the three correlations and explain how, or explain the relationship between the X and Y value in terms of how it is graphed. Okay, so let's make that a little bit smaller. And I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. And let's move this one over here. And this one right here. All right, so now that this is done, we can continue. Sorry about that, guys. I was just like, I didn't really like the way it was set up, so I figured I would go ahead and modify it a little bit. Okay, so with that said, let's continue. All right, so talk about positive correlation. For example, a positive correlation example is the number of hours you study on your exam and the percent that you get on your exam. I mean, it is kind of expected that if you study more with your exam, that you also get a higher percentage. And the reason why this looks like this is that the number, if you look at it, here is going to be your grade on the exam. And these are the hours of study. So that with the more hours that you study, the higher your grade on the exam will be. Another example is, for example, your salary and the years of education. So this is your salary, and obviously it's going higher this way. And this is your years of education. It's going higher this way. So if you have more years of education, chances are the higher the salary will be. So this is all examples of positive correlation. Now, on the other hand, negative correlation is, for example, the number of hours you work at the gym and the number of pounds that you weigh. Okay, so then looking at this could be your weight. Okay, and obviously from 0 to maybe 200. And then over here could be the hours spent at gym. Okay, so the way it kind of looks like is, let's say you spend 10 hours at the gym. And the more that you spend at the gym, the more weight that you will lose. So this is an example of a negative correlation. Something that has absolutely no correlation or no relationship could be something such as how much you make at work and the numbers of siblings that you have. And in this situation, if this is the number of siblings that you have, and this is the numbers that you work, it could just be something like this, where there's just a bunch of random dots and there's really no pattern there. All right, so the next thing I want you guys to do is make sure you have completed this part of your notes if you haven't done so already. So this chapter talks about relationship between variables that are measured on the same individual. Response variable Y is the dependent variable in the study that measures the outcome. The explanatory variable is the independent variable that influences change in the response variable. So for example, one thing that I generally use is that if happens that you have cancer and you decide to take on let's say, join a study group. When you're joining that study group, they could either put you in the independent group or the dependent group. So the dependent group is the control group. And even though everybody that's partaking in this study has cancer, they might actually not give you medicine to treat the cancer. They might give you something called a placebo, which is like sugar pills disguised as medicine, making you think that you're getting the medicine, but really it could be like Tic Tacs. Okay, so you could either be in the control group where you're getting Tic Tacs, or it could be in the independent group where you're actually getting the actual medicine. And the reason why they do that is they want to compare the effects and see how your well-being and how your health is improving or deteriorating when given the medicine when compared to the Tic Tacs. So this is how they go ahead and formulate these medical trials. And so that's something where you actually use dependent and independent variables. Another thing that I want you guys to do, make sure you guys finish, is that for each of the following 3 scenarios, decide which the variable is explanatory, which is the X one, and it's always an effect change, and which one is going to be the response, which is the Y, which is the result of change. So pause the video and make sure you have all 3 of these completed. All right, let's take a look at your answers. So make sure you guys have the underlying parts of X's in the green and the yellows in for the Y's. All right, let's go on to your objective, okay? So what I want you guys to do here is, can you describe the correlation? So pause the video, take a moment, and go ahead and describe them. All right, so let's take a look to see if you have the correct answers. Well, the first one looks like it is a negative, but it's very weak because it's not a straight negative. The second one's a pretty strong positive because if I draw a line, all the dots are pretty close to the line. Next one is no correlation because it actually does not have a straight line. It's more like a curve. And this one is a no correlation either because it's just in a direction of a straight line. Okay, so now what I would like you guys to do is kind of go back to this piece right here. And for your exit ticket, I want you to go ahead and tell me the relationship between the two quantities such that when one changes, the other also will change. So this is one as the automobile mileage versus the auto value, auto quality versus the auto body color, auto accident versus the auto insurance cost. So once you look at the graph of the 3 correlation, one's a negative, 0, and positive, and explain to me how does the graph actually is relatable to the X and Y value. So how does this go down in this direction when the auto mileages go up and the auto values actually decrease? So explain that to me for all 3. Your homework tonight is to go ahead and come up with 3 examples of a positive correlation, 3 examples of a negative correlation, 3 examples of no correlation. And then what I want you guys to do is, if you're having some difficulties with the homework, make sure you guys watch this video, and then that should assist you with this. All right, you guys, as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful week and stay safe and healthy. Wash your hands, wear your mask, socially distance 6 feet apart, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. Take care.